chicken nugget just in time. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Ballad of Conjurers. This is our second episode out of 6. We're here. We're going to play some games here. We're going to first just do a little quick intro of everyone here and their characters. And I want to know, for myself and the audience, not that I'm going to use it against you or anything. I just want to know, like, what's your character allergic to? It could be just a little sneezy allergy, it could be a food allergy. And we're gonna start like going on here to that way with Gask. So hi Gask, welcome.
Hello, my name's Gaskinator. I play Brazen, who is a werewolf who goes by she, they pronouns, and I thought it'd be funny as a werewolf if they were allergic to cats. Now, I don't know if this extends to werecats or not, but I feel like they just break out into a very bad rash whenever they're in contact with cat hair.
Does it include big cats or just small cats?
That's what I'm curious about, is like, how far can we go with this?
So, like, Brazen can only hang out with hairless werecats, is what you're saying.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, hairless werecats. That's just the worst image I've ever had in my mind.
Oh. No. If there are hairless werecats, then you get to have hairless mole rats. Mole rats? Anyway.
Hairless mole rats? Yes. I'm writing it down.
Hairless mole rats. The sun bears as well that are hairless or vile.
Yeah, they can't see, but they all live in the Underdark. So
every single one of my characters is allergic to naked werecats on principle.
I love it.
That's all you need to know about me.
One image.
Hamalu, you're next.
Yes. Hi everyone, it's me, Emma, or Hamalu on the internet. Today I'm bringing Rowan, who uses any and all pronouns. They are a Sylvan fae being with no impulse control. And they are allergic, like myself, to mushrooms and mold and any forms of those delightful things. They get real sick, y'all. That's me.
Angela.
Hello there, lovelies. My name is Angela Lemus-Mogravejo. I use she, her pronouns, and I'll be playing Ileana Leah Camacho, who also uses she, her pronouns, who is, regrettably like me, not particularly allergic to anything, but whose stomach constitution is terrible when it comes to anything in the form of dairy. Does she still consume it in vast quantities like I do? Yes. Is this ill-advised? Yes. Will this change her behavior? No. That is
Listen, cheese is amazing. Like, it's so hard. I understand. All right, Ren, you're up.
Hi, I am Ren. I am a gender, use they, them pronouns, and I will be playing Autumn, an otter person who also uses they, them pronouns. I thought about it, and I considered giving Autumn no allergies, because I myself have no allergies and don't know what that's like, but I think it would be more fun if they were allergic to mold or wet leaves. So in the season of their own name, they have a hard time with all of the decay and rot that goes around.
Brazen, I bet for sure just thinks that Autumn hates when the leaves aren't crunchy anymore, because Brazen also hates when the leaves aren't crunchy anymore in autumn.
It's like, when breakfast cereal goes soggy and it's like, how dare you?
Yeah.
You have to be crunchy.
I like soggy breakfast
cereal.
I'm just going to note that for the rec. Thank God someone else likes it. People always look at me weird when that happens.
Most people douse their breakfast cereal in milk. I'm sure most people like it soggy.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't douse it in milk? What do you eat?
Just have to eat it quick enough that it doesn't get like the real mushy where it's all just kind of become.
I just eat it dry.
I let it get mushy.
Okay. It takes a village.
All right, well, last but not least, Mary.
I am Fairy Serena. I use any and all pronouns. I'm playing Bree, who also uses any and all pronouns. And they are a little burrower halfling type person who really likes to cook. So this has been a very difficult decision. But I'm going to say that they don't have any allergies just because they can eat anything.
I have a question. Does
What?
any character here taste cilantro or soap?
So
What?
Soap?
So
Soap?
Cilantro or soap? It's
Yeah.
cilantro.
Okay.
Cilantro.
I had to know. Cilantro?
Yeah, I think cilantro.
it's
Okay.
the PCT gene. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the Brazen intimately knows the taste of soap, though.
Has Braze has her
I
mouth
mean,
been
so
dishwashed
does
out?
Bree. She does taste everything.
Everything.
So
It's like, what's this? Licks it.
No,
Anyway,
it was
it's
definitely one of
interesting
those.
flavors, but I don't think
Yeah.
this would make
It
a good
was
meal now.
definitely
this
like
is why you don't
a
have
fancy
allergies.
soap. Yeah.
This is why Bree doesn't have allergies, because Bree has essentially built up an immune system by literally putting everything in her mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I feel like Brazen one time came across this soap that smelled like an apple and looked like an apple. It was very fancy kind, and then just took a bite out of it.
Oh well.
Definitely not inspired by me taking a bite out of a candle that smelled like chocolate and looked like chocolate when I was a child.
Well
know.
then, my soapy chocolate friends.
It can happen.
Let's with all that in mind and all of my notes here, let's go ahead and get started. It's a quick recap. We're gonna recap to the point where we still had Brazen, because I want y'all to in characterly recap to Brazen what y'all went through whenever we lost her. So y'all, our characters here live on the first plane of Yggdrasil, where the world tree resides, though y'all have never seen it. It's just what you heard, where angels and monsters rule. You were currently in attendance of a funeral of a prominent figure of the lycanthrope tribe here on the continent that you reside in. And you, upon the funeral, a couple things you learned. One, the God King was attended because apparently he was a distant relative, and he brought with him his new trophy, and that's very ick to say, but essentially his trophy of his current partner, who seemed very pregnant to all of you. And here's the thing, nobody's been pregnant for a really long time on this plane, because Sandalphon himself has not bestowed the sentient races of Yggdrasil with new life in about 5 years. So this is kind of a big deal. When y'all are at the actual wake itself, Gray kind of indicated to Angela that something wasn't right. His nose was telling him something wasn't right, and to thus proceed to see what was up with homegirl, who was supposedly pregnant. And all of you except for Brazen, because Brazen, you were taking a well-earned nap. You just know, they were like, we should just let her sleep. However, Brazen, you, in your nap, in your little carriage house, your little personal cottage that has been bestowed upon you, you stir and you look around and it's dark outside, and you're like, oh man, I'm missing the party. Like, yeah, you are straight up missing that party.
I definitely sprint towards it, very regretful about sleeping in.
Well, when you open your door in the courtyard, there are your friends standing down, a very ghoulish looking person with this sort of translucent pale white skin, stringy white hair, big black almost alien like eyes, and like has scimitars, but they're also sort of like backing down a little bit, like it's a little tense, but it doesn't look like they're going to like attack your friends or anything. But this is definitely, it's kind of weird. You didn't expect this.
Yeah,
Like,
Brazen's sprinting up like, are we fighting?
No, no fight.
Okay, slowing down.
mhm. Oh, great.
Um,
There's another one of you. Hmm.
I mean, I think we're all different. One of like one of us. Also, hi, Brazen. Sorry, I was sleeping. Also, guys, what the hell's going on?
You just walk up to it to like shake its hand or what? Like you said, hi, Brazen.
Yeah, my hand's still out. I don't think necessarily walking up to it. I think I'm standing next to everybody, but my hand is out.
Like they just sort of like look down at it and look back up at you, and it's like, could we perhaps get out of the open? I'm feeling quite vulnerable.
Yeah, anyone could just wake up suddenly and run out into the courtyard, you know?
Which do you also notice in the courtyard, there's also just 2 knocked out guards at another carriage house.
To
Just
be fair, he
Yeah.
points me in the head.
They
It was very
started it.
rude. Mm-hmm.
they did
I
not
did
start
offer
it.
them cookies. It's all
Maybe-
very rude.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't go back into your carriage house though, given that there is some skin on that floor.
Right. Well, I didn't
Do
have
you need
enough
that
time to
skin?
I don't need it, but I would like to dispose of it before it's found.
What do you do with it?
I eat it.
That's honestly what I thought you
Well-
were going to say.
Gnarly.
Is it like dried skin, like leather?
Mm-mm. Like
It's
you
quite
unzip a
wet.
suit and yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
The next time that you have, like, can I take a little bit and maybe try some?
You want to eat my skin?
Oh well.
Well, you said you eat it. So is it like a good texture, good flavor?
It's disgusting.
Why do you eat it?
How else am I supposed to get rid of it in a pinch?
Burn it?
Fair enough.
Yes, fires are noticeable.
Hmm.
Well, you could put a hole in the ground and then start the fire and then stick the thing in there.
Well,
I
that's a
will-
lot of skin. Do you have like a do you not get hungry? Like full up of food and
Could put
Okay.
it back
Mm.
on.
yeah. Yeah.
Imagine someone finding it.
Maybe we should go find it before that actually happens, huh?
Yes, I think
Is-
you don't have to watch me eat it. In fact, I recommend that you don't.
I'm gonna lean into Brazen and just be like, so, you know,
Is
pregnant
this a
lady that
party
came with the
crasher?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
do we have to kick their butt?
No.
Okay.
It was
So-
an option for a while, but no.
Okay.
I mean,
So-
it also makes sense that you would eat your skin because you're diabetic. There's probably
Mhm.
more protein than that.
Changelings can't process sugar. We have really bad insulin resistances.
Mhm. Well, let's head back to the pile of discarded skin on the floor and talk about this.
Yes, we'll have to talk.
Would you like spices? Maybe that would make it a little easier.
I just want it to go down as quick as possible.
Fair enough.
Maybe if you cook it first, because I imagine it's a bit chewy if it's not cooked. Like these guys have like magic that can maybe you know. Bree, you could do something with it, yeah.
Thank you for offering easier ways for me to eat my skin. I appreciate the concern.
Listen, we all have our struggles and we
I
have
mean,
to honor
people
each
really
other's
like
struggles.
deep fried pig skins.
Mm-hmm.
crackling.
Okay.
Pork
Hello,
belly,
I
yeah.
am from Canada.
Pork rinds.
He's
Sure.
wrong. Oblivion enters the chat and says you're all wrong.
Carriage house.
So they sort of guide you back to the house first. Like they sheathe their swords. They check on their guards to make sure that they're not dead. They're not. Y'all didn't kill them. Y'all just sort of bonked them out for a bit there. And rolls them over to like sit up and to like lean against the house. And it's like, all right. Again, I don't think you want to watch this, but I'm going to consume my evidence.
I could also try to incinerate it if you would prefer.
Again, the whole like idea of a fire just burning back
Aren't
here.
we in a carriage house with like a fireplace?
Yes, you want to.
So couldn't we just cut it up and then throw it into the fire piece by piece?
You want to smell burnt flesh, and also around all of the werewolves.
I mean, they cook their food, don't they?
Yes.
Okay.
Just
So
wait here, I'm going to my skin.
Let's just let the person do what they gotta do.
I'm gonna put that. Oh my god.
However, I don't know about you guys. I'm like weirdly fascinated to watch this happen.
I'm kind of just been at a base level confused since I got here.
That tracks. Maybe we can fill you in while they go and nom nom.
Oh yeah, it'd be great ambiance.
Yeah. It's the sounds of chewing in the background.
Yeah, ASMR.
it'll be like an ASMR video.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh. So they go in, and I don't know if anybody follows, but if y'all just like stay outside, it's not that really bad darkness or anything anymore. It looks like a normal thing inside. And so it's, instead of getting like incredibly graphic with this, I'm just gonna have like the camera pan to the wall, and you just see like the elongated shadow. And you just see like the shadow's jaw like unhinge and lift up a bodysuit and just like stick it in its face. And like there's just a slurping noise. And you'll hear a little belch. And then the door opens. It's like, all right, I'm done, and eventually I'll have to shed this one for the new one. But we have time. You want to come in?
You have to do that every time?
Yes.
Seems rather tedious to have to try and do that.
I know.
Do you get paid
I
well
don't
for the work
shed
that you
this. Like this doesn't quite shed. It changes on how I want it, and then I shed that
do?
when I'm done. Yes.
Do you get paid well for that work? That sounds difficult.
To shed my skin, it's something I do
Well, no,
naturally. I don't need to get paid to do
no,
it. Do you
I mean
get
the
paid to
job
take
you
a
were
shit?
doing.
I don't.
No.
Why?
Some people might pay to watch.
I
but
have
not-
a question. So if you can just shed your skin, how does the biology of making yourself look pregnant work? Or do you just have
Magic.
like
I
one of
don't
those like
explain shit.
little squishy things that they stick underneath like clothes?
I just put more flesh there.
So do you
Sculpting.
already like, is it just like you're like pushing the matter to like where you want the flesh to go?
I can look like anyone, honestly.
Well, like,
or
can you
any-
like be like super tall, or do you need to be like within your own sort of
I can get
physical
look-
mass
I can get
size?
slightly taller. Yes, and slightly shorter. I have to sort of stay within a few inches of range, but
Okay.
yes. Mhm. Okay, and just sort of like swings their arms and like rocks on the back of their feet.
Is your part of this job done then? You've done what they paid you to do. Were they intending on you just leaving at this point?
I have to keep up the charade until a problem is fixed, so
Oh,
I have a charade to keep up. Yes,
yeah. Why did you shed your skin this time?
I don't control when it happens.
Oh, okay.
does, just like a snake can't control when it
Hmm.
sheds.
Interesting.
It's just, part of a cycle.
Mm.
Mhm.
We're asking very personal questions. If at
Those
any
are very-
point you just
I'd
want to,
imagine you'd have like more questions on the state of the world that I told you, not necessarily my own body. It's very strange to talk about my body in such a way because I tend to hide what I am. I'm very creepy.
yeah.
You don't
I-
strike me as particularly creepy.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. Have you been changed out of places with pitchforks before? I have. So
I haven't had a friend for perhaps the entirety of my life.
I'm your friend.
Well,
these are not your
uh,
friends here.
outside of this group, but up
Ah.
until this group, I did not quite have friends.
Well, you have them now, so it's. Are you
You could
still
also
sad about
have
it?
a friend now as well if you'd like more friends.
I have plenty of acquaintances. I'm good.
How are you playing charades on your own if you don't have friends? We can play with you. I love charades.
Yeah.
Hey,
I won't play charades with you, Brazen, but I will paint a little picture.
Okay.
This person here was paid
Uh-huh.
to come and pretend to be somebody who was pregnant because
Oh,
Sandalphon's
pregnant
like,
lady.
yeah, that's the skin she just
Oh.
ate.
Did the skin have a baby in it too?
no.
Okay,
There's
that's
no
good.
Baby's
baby.
not real. Yeah.
Oh,
So Sandalphon's not getting laid, got pissed off, is not letting anyone have babies because they're bitter. And then they got paid by Sandalphon's brother, twin angel Metatron. Just,
Give a little boost to the people.
give them
Little-
hope. Like, look, she
Yeah.
got pregnant. You can too. Go make babies.
It's just to know the possibilities, and I was a little taken aback by being chased and being questioned. The situation is a bit more complicated than that. All of Sandafon's children and all of Sandafon's potential mates have all faced assassination. And so it's more of that there's an assassin out there, particularly killing them before they can do anything. And that's the main problem.
So, if we find the assassin and assassinate the assassin, then maybe people can have babies again.
That's the idea. I mean, you don't have to go look for them.
I meant we as like a collective.
A collective we. I mean, aren't you a mercenary group? Do you not accept jobs?
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, I'm really just here looking for recipes, man.
She's the most vicious of us all, to be honest.
Yeah.
I
True.
did see what you did with your frying pan earlier.
I could be convinced.
You can't point people on the head. It's rude, especially if after they've offered you baked goods. It's just
Yeah.
Fair, you can't
Terrible
also just
manners.
barge in on someone shedding their skin either. It's quite rude.
We
I
thought
mean,
something
we
was
were
wrong.
on a mission from the prince. He's a prince, right?
He's a bastard.
Whatever. It's pretty much the same thing.
Right.
Quite specifically to get rid of gatecrashers, of which you are in fact one.
I have an invitation.
Technically,
plus-
you
I'm-
don't.
I'm the +1. I don't.
No. Technically, right now, you don't have an invitation. You don't look anything like what people think you're supposed to be looking like.
To be
So-
fair, the invitation's not about looks, is it? Especially if you're a +1.
I mean,
Mhm.
they came in looking one way. And then
Yeah,
and
this
then
is
they-
a funeral of werewolves. I think a lot of people can come in here looking one way.
well, okay, fair enough.
I think given there was a bit of a hubbub about your presence as said pregnant woman, and if they discovered the actual truth, I feel like people would be a bit pissed off.
They would be quite pissed off. Which is why, yes, I am getting paid well for this, and I would really like it if you didn't tell anyone, because I don't want to have to jump into the ocean to try and get away.
You're just doing your job. I'm not, you know.
I like being alive.
I don't think we would allow anyone to even remotely risk harming you to that degree. Or really any
I would
degree.
like- yeah, I would like to not count for any degree. I avoid it.
It's,
I'm of the
I-
opinion if someone tries to kill you, you kill them right back. So
I would say, speaking solely from a personal standpoint, your presence at the party was a bit of a sore spot for at least a few different people, given that it is technically a funeral and the rest of the party, given your presence, suddenly turned it into a almost social event to
it
think
wasn't
about your
my
presence.
plan to come.
No,
I'm
no,
just saying. I was just
mean-
supposed to hang out with the God King. He decided to bring me. I would have been just fine staying at Arkham. Thank you very much.
So
Are
you're
you implying that you've been kidnapped?
I'm implying that no, I was not kidnapped. I
Okay,
came
well
of
then
my
you
own
had
free
to
will.
decide to be here.
Well, maybe not though. Were you just hired to hang around with the God King where he's actually from and he decided to come here and bring you with him?
Yes.
I see.
He had to show me off.
Is he aware of the situation, of the terms of your employment, like who your employer is? Is he
No.
the original employer, or is he simply benefiting from your work?
Metatron is my employer.
Mhm.
Has Metatron informed him of the nature of you?
No, he thinks I'm really pregnant with his
Oh.
baby.
Hmm.
Interesting.
I wonder why
We're
Metatron
gonna have to
picked-
make sure that he does not figure that out, because that's not gonna
Yes.
go well.
I was doing fine until someone knocked my guards out.
He booped me on the head.
You tried to break
Yeah.
into my room.
Fuck around, you find out and got, you know?
You're the one who fucked around. You could have just let it be. Anyway, I digress. It is all
Mhm.
20 minutes in the past. Like, just like exasperated,
Mhm.
sits down, opens a tin, there's a sewing kit in it, closes it, opens another tin, there's cookies. Like,
You
like, who
never
put that
find
there?
cookies in those.
what's that
Thing.
there? Like,
Yeah.
anyway, I've got about another 30 minutes before I grow skin. Is there anything else you want to know?
Do we
No.
need to be your guards now that we like knocked out your other guards?
I can't pay you.
Would
Mhm.
you help us get to the bottom of why this is happening? You can be passive with that.
Oh my goodness. I could possibly offer some assistance. I was here to when Metatron found out I was coming here and it was due to an assassination, I did get the task of seeing if it was the same MO. So that's what I was going to do.
Would you like deputies for that?
Into sneaking into the palace.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
We have good reason to be here. We're helping to protect some of the family.
Well, I mean, actually, it's just very easy now. If you're here with the family, could you just ask them for me?
Yeah. Finding out who killed their dad, I'm imagining they want that as well.
You know, just ask them for me and tell me how they died. That'd be great.
Okay. Can we get a ride back to where you were on that massive fucking golden boat?
That's not up to me,
Oh, well,
but possibly, Metatron's not in Arkham. I'm not sure where they are, but
I'd like to meet this Metatron.
no, you don't. Most angels are that one, like a full one, not a Nephilim.
Yes.
I've made an angel food cake before.
Made of angel. Are you the assassin?
No,
Like
I
a
ate
big
that cake.
sharp, like toothy grin spreads across their face, and it's just like its teeth are just like super pointed, like knives, like shark teeth, essentially.
Into it.
But yeah, but totally just giving. Clearly, was like joking with you.
Now you see, Bree, that is an ingredient you've maybe not worked with yet.
We'll have to get some.
Yeah. Well, I have encountered one, kind of. That's neither here nor there.
Interesting.
Isn't it kind of here and there for this conversation? If you've already met one at least once, but wouldn't you have like a little bit of information that could help us? Like a vibe, maybe?
Yeah. Well, I suppose. Kind of looks at Leah like, help me. Yeah, it was a brief encounter, a bit of whirlwind, rather exciting. But I don't know if I'd be able to give you a vibe check other than some saucy details, which I don't know if this is the time or place for that.
Fair enough.
Please don't.
Well, I don't believe it was Metatron, though. I feel like I would know that.
No, Metatron hasn't taken anyone sometime. His children are still fine, so his descendants are out there in the multiverse, from what I understand.
Who would have reason to have beef with Sandalphon's kids?
There's a moment, and it's like, I mean, from what I understand, Sandalphon has their own theories, but it's their theories.
Okay.
There's only one assassination cult on the entire planes of existence that have the abilities to possibly kill the children of gods or the gods themselves. And from what I understand, it burned down about 30 years ago.
Would I have heard of that? Where is it? Yeah, whereabouts was that cult?
It's not on like your continent, but it's sort of a known secret, supposedly, that there is a known cult of the Angel of Death. That's not necessarily affiliated with him, but like straightforward, but sometimes it will consist of like his descendants. And it was located on the island of Comia, which is west of the continent that you're from.
Okay. Okay. But that's not massively far from the frontier, right?
No, it's not.
Interesting. Angel of Death, you say? Well, if Sandalphon has theories, maybe we could try and meet Sandalphon.
No.
Ryman's just finding any excuse to start finding fucking gods and angels to speak to, because they've got business they need to see to.
Okay.
I'm more than
Um,
happy to provide some aphrodisiac food if you need it.
This isn't, I mean, this is all well and good, but I'm not in any sort of position, like, pretty much I've given you all of my information at this point. If there's any sort of hint, if it is a Sandaphon, or excuse me, an Azrael assassin, then perhaps visiting the old temple would be of use. I know there are a few. Still living, that is, a few of the from what I understood, one of the cultists got tired of being one and just all of them.
It's time to peace out.
Yeah, and made sure that they left very few, if no witnesses. Though there are a few. I've met a couple. They're sort of unpleasant. Most
Interesting.
cultists are, though.
They're very passionate people.
Indeed.
Question: have we all just been sort of standing awkwardly outside of the party?
No, y'all all came inside and the door was
Okay,
closed.
okay, I
Like
just
after
wanted to
the
double
like
check.
after the skin was eaten. In fact, like even like as y'all are sort of talking towards, so like this person put only like out of like essentially excuse me, out of like a hurry, kind of only was able to get on like a cloak and their knife belt as their sword arms, and so they've actually just been kind of wrapped up naked like the whole time, and their clothes are neatly folded away from the skin, like where the skin was.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, they have to regrow their skin, right? So there'd be no point putting on the clothes.
Right, exactly.
Unless, of course, like,
but
the
you
skin
did
grows
sort of
underneath the
ambush.
clothes.
But you know, like, but at the same time, there's no genitalia or anything to even like exist. Like it's really just like a blank slate of a person. Yeah. What's up?
Body part considerations aside, so would we like to continue on with getting back to the party?
I can't yet. I still got. Oh look, it's Peachy. And I like hold up. They hold up their hand, and
Well, while you're
yeah.
growing your skin back, I'm gonna go and make some food because seeing you eat your skin kind of made me a wee bit hungry, and I need
There's
to eat
a whole
something now.
party of food.
Yeah, but we still gotta wait for you. So
You don't
I'm just gonna
necessarily
wander
have to.
off
I could
to-
just wake up my
I'm
guards when
gonna-
I'm done.
wander off to the kitchen, and you're gonna
Like-
start hearing pots and pans just flying
The
around.
kitchen, there's no kitchen in the carriage house. It's just somewhere to sleep. Like,
Fine,
y'all
I'll
are-
start a teeny tiny little fire and use my teeny tiny little frying pan.
She's
that I
we
used
could
to knock somebody's-
perhaps head back to the party just to make sure everything's fine and smooth and dandy and nobody's freaking out,
If you
and
want,
let
I
her come
can
back.
wait outside your room until the guards wake up and let you know, because I don't think they'll be mad at me.
That is true. You didn't beat them up.
Yeah, I did, and I was
that is
innocent
true.
in all this.
True.
Sure. You do it all you want. I'm just gonna be here, growing flesh.
Because we didn't leave with you, so it'd be odd to go back with you, I guess. Then it would be quite apparent what we
Well, but it
snuck
would
off
also
on.
be kind of weird if we didn't come back with her because we were sent to go get her.
I don't. Were we actually specifically sent to get her?
Just to go investigate, not necessarily
Yeah.
get
Well,
the person.
we were told to stop the gate crashers.
Are we selling
we've
the fact that she's not a
interpreted-
gate?
We interpreted that phrase very loosely. I just want to make that very clear as a party.
Hmm.
Also,
They've got that-
Autumn, did you have something you wanted to chime in? I
Wiener
couldn't
dog
tell.
energy to them. Sorry.
There could be other gate crashers we can go look for.
Good point. Good
Yeah.
point.
All
Okay.
right, fine. And I guess there will be hors d'oeuvres or whatever. So
Maybe just add some of your seasoning to it just to liven it up a little bit, eh, Bree?
oh yes, I should.
Cool. If we start looking for another problem that we could occupy ourselves with, it might chase away the trail that's leading to her if we're trying to let her sell what she's trying to do. We really should
Oh,
be trying
I can help with that.
to...
The only thing is if you are allergic to mushrooms, I wouldn't touch some of the hors d'oeuvres. I'll tell you which ones later. when
Oh.
we get there, but-
Thanks, babe. Cool. All right. Let's go act entirely normal, everyone.
Always. I'm always normal.
Deep sweat starts kicking in for Leah upon hearing the phrase "act entirely normal." It's like, I'm a walking like firebird. This is not going to be easy amongst a bunch of wolves, I might add.
Yeah. Yeah. Your prey instincts are kicking in.
But I'm an otter.
Sorry,
Ugh.
1 second.
Everyone else is relatively humanoid or a werewolf. Meanwhile, Autumn and I are just sort of sticking out like there's an otter and a bird walking around here. What do we do?
All right, sorry, my brain. My brother-in-law DM'd me just now. It's like your Instagram was hacked, and I was like, I know that was last night. I fixed it already, but I had like that panic moment that it happened again, and I had to go look. Like, but no, he was just talking about what happened last night.
Sweet.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were y'all doing real quick?
We're going to act normal as much as is possible. I mean, we saw gecko people, you know, your guys are good.
Anyway, we were gonna go back to the party, and I was going to spike some of the hors d'oeuvres with a mixture of weed and mushroom seasoning.
Oh, make
Okay.
one of them like really spicy as well.
Like an obnoxious amount of spice.
Yeah. So like other people get like a chill buzz, and then one person gets like a really not great time.
Yes,
It's a great
okay, I
prank.
want to do that. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
These poor people. Okay, you know what?
I was about to say, like, does this seem a bit like much to be just randomly spiking people's food in the middle of a
We
of
are
a funeral ceremony?
Supposed to be creating a distraction so
You can
that
just
the
talk
other
to
lady
people.
can come back and nobody will notice that she was gone.
You're
I think this is
suggesting
the
we talk to
perfect plan.
people?
Everyone
You-
noticed that I was gone. They all saw me leave with the guards.
But
Oh, we're just trying to, because the thing is, a couple people are already a little raised eyebrow, shall we say, at your presence. So if we try to be like, oh, don't worry about it, we cleared her, she's good, so that they worry about you less, to let you do your job.
And so you're going to drug
yes.
people to do
Yep.
that.
This is the plan.
I
I
think
just
that's a
thought it would be a
crime.
fun game.
It's a
to
crime. It's
play.
a yeah.
Yeah,
What if
it's
we-
a crime to party.
No. What
Yeah.
if we tell them what's
So-
happening? We say, hey, everybody, join us in our fun game. Some of these hors d'oeuvres are nice, and one of them's really bad. See which one you get. Whoa.
I think that
Mhm.
out of character,
It's
I'm actually gonna pump the brakes on it. I do not want y'all
Yeah.
to
Okay.
drug like to drug this party. It's all fine and good if it's consent. So
Fair enough.
yeah.
Yeah, no, we find, like I said, we find another is it someone else who's acting suspicious or you know, something to be like, hey, look at this thing. Don't you think we should focus on that? Let's leave the pregnant lady.
Yeah. Honestly,
Mhm.
I think it'll be fine if you just go back. Like out of characterly, it's probably gonna be fine if you just go back. Like,
We're a little dramatic, okay? Just a little.
little bit, I can tell.
Some of us.
Mm.
Mhm.
Leah can go speak to the guy whose name I have forgotten.
Gray.
Gray.
Right.
And just be like, yeah, we chill. You focus on mourning your father. We're gonna go eat.
Yeah, and I mean, y'all can talk to Gray separately at some point, in fact.
Mhm.
It's just sort of like speed the scene up a little bit. That's eventually sort of like what happens. Like y'all do return to the party eventually. Brazen, you hang back for a bit to like wake up the guards whenever
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
changeling friend is like ready to go.
Mhm. And
The
also when
guards-
everyone else is cleared out, so they don't immediately
Yeah.
wake up and see everyone and like, hey, didn't you knock us out?
Yeah, pretty much. Like there's a moment where like when y'all do come back before Brazen and the changeling, y'all never ask their name. Like, it's all right. It's all right. And Gray sort of like looks and tilts. The party itself has actually wind down a little bit. Well, I say wind down in the fact that the people who are there are less people there, but the people that are there are a bit more rowdier, if that makes sense.
Less
I
formal.
mean, it is a Viking funeral, so people can
Mhm.
be a little bit loud. But like, you know, like there's like this curious puppy dog head tilt at you, Leah, with like a brr, brr, brr.
I'm just imagining an actual dog just making all of those gestures, and
The
it
head
makes it that
tilt.
much cuter.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the head tilt that got me. It's the like guess I'll die sort of hand gestures.
Like, yeah.
But no, I think she just nods and just sort of like mouths the word later to Gray to just sort of reassure him that it's like can't talk now, and
Mhm.
tries to avoid like gesturing to like
Yeah.
the several people in here, and no, just tries to say like we'll fill you
Yeah,
in with everything.
he's very good at nonverbal communication, because he's a dog. And like, so he's just like, all right, he nods, like, and like sort of like leans over to like his sister and like whispers something in her ear. And she gives a nod. She hasn't said too much, but that's her, because when she says things, she just tends to be really mean. So she just avoids talking. Like, it's not even that she's mean, it's just people assume she's mean all the time because she's got a little resting bitch face, right? It's fine. But so she just sort of goes with it. But the party does eventually wind down, and Brazen, you wake up these guards pretty much when the door opens and there is the pregnant human woman there once again, and she's like, all right, well, we'll wake them up.
Yeah. Do they have names? Do you have a name?
One of them was Craig, so
Okay,
I remember that
Craig.
much. We do have a Craig, and she's like, well, that one is Craig and that one is Dustin,
Okay, Craig and Dustin.
and they know me as oh goodness, I never gave this person like a name for this version. They call me
Alicia.
Lady
Anastasia.
Anastasia.
Buttercup.
Yes, Lady Anastasia for today.
Okay, I won't ask what you're usually known as because that will confuse me immensely.
That's all right. I like to keep that one secret anyway.
Okay.
It defeats the whole secret identity thing if I tell you my identity, right?
Yeah, but we have seen it, right?
But you don't know it.
I guess.
Oh.
If you say so. Do you want to go to the party?
let's get Craig and Dustin first.
Oh yeah. Craig, Dustin, I know what it's like to have like take an unexpected long nap and be late for the party. Don't worry.
Like one of the guards, the older one, Dustin, like gets up really fast. He's like, "Ah,
Whoa, what's up?
where are the tentacles?
The tentacles?
I was attacked by
were you-
tentacles."
Oh, you had a bad
right.
dream, buddy.
What? Who are you?
Oh, I'm Brazen.
Where's my
I'm one of-
glaive?
Oh, I don't know.
It's like over there, and Craig's like, "Oh man, did we have the same tentacle dream? That was so
Oh my
weird.
God,
I
you
didn't know
guys
we
must
could
be really
collectively dream
close.
like that."
No, you guys must be really close or something.
I mean, we just met each other on this boat ride.
Maybe it's fated
What's fated?
that you guys would pass out and have the same dream together. Maybe it's like a prophecy. Maybe you're the heroes.
Prophecy of tentacles.
I don't know. I wasn't the one who had the dream.
Well, it's regardless, says the little pregnant lady. You
Oh,
all
yeah.
kept me quite safe. Like even during your nap, no one bothered me. And luckily, our neighbor here was able to wake you up from your tentacle nap. But I'm ready to go. My headache is gone. I'd like to go back to the party.
Are they starting to lead her?
Yes. Like they're very confused. But they'll like, I mean, as long as you're okay. Oh yes, I'm fine. Very fine. I'm actually could use a little mead. Just a little bit though.
Yeah, I hear they're very good for headaches.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I also offer my arm to the lady because I know that that's polite.
Aren't you wonderful?
Yes, very. Now to the party.
All right, to the party. And eventually the night winds down. Everyone sort of like winds down, like the party comes to an end. The God King takes his girlfriend to their suite because they have a large suite on top of just having a carriage house for her naps that she wanted. And he takes her, and the actual prince, the brother Burin, escorts his mother back into their house, and Gray and Raina stick around because y'all did say later, and well, people are leaving, so what's up?
Great
Wait,
party, you guys.
you
Very
know what?
good.
People should get assassinated more often, apparently. I mean, that's a joke. That is a terrible, that's a bad joke. That is bad.
It's grave humor. It's fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just hope
Just
you guys
promise me you will
become
throw
legal-
me a party this elaborate when I pass.
Oh yeah, absolute rager.
It better be. It better be a rager.
But if you guys
I'd accept nothing less. Mhm.
if you guys ever become leaders, you could always just have parties, make them a thing.
Oh no, I'm good. I don't need to lead anyone into anything. I'm very happy with just co-owning a mercenary company with my little sis here, and I'm good not being legitimized or leading anyone. That is not my role. I am a lone wolf.
With an organization backing you.
We have
I
like
mean,
pizza-
it's listen, I gotta make money. Like, it doesn't mean that, like, you know,
I
I'm
don't know
starving
if you-
artist here. I'm a divorcee.
if you
Come on. I got child support to pay. Like,
Sells the
actually, I
image,
actually
honestly.
just have a child to take care of because now we're not supposed to. Right. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
Oh, it
so
got so sad so quickly. Oh my god.
Ooh.
it's sort of like, and he gets interrupted by his sister, and she's like, "So what's with the pregnant girl?" Y'all came back and thumbs up. So what's up with her?
Her guards fell asleep and had the same tentacle dream. I think it could be a magical prophecy.
Yeah. That's
I
a
can't
thing.
argue with that.
Also, can we have pizza nights as like a mercenary guild? I think that would be a fun way to do parties.
What's
It's a
pizza?
real morale booster.
You don't know what a pizza is.
Bree can teach you. They're great.
They're amazing. You put
Mhm.
anything you want on them.
It's
Okay.
just a really good vehicle for toppings, honestly. Anyway,
I love the
you-
segue of your favorite pizza, but and I don't there's
things.
tentacles in the courtyard is what you're saying.
I
No,
had
no,
a
they
dream
just
about
rented it.
tentacles.
Dreaming about tentacles is not normal.
No.
Prophetic.
Yeah. Maybe is there some sort of entity behind all of these goings on that involves tentacles? There's mythical entities that do that, right?
And it's definitely something that I'm sure Rowan needs to check out.
Yeah.
What are you not telling us?
Oh,
Because that's what this.
Your
Yeah,
deviled eggs need paprika.
I walked her back to the party and said her name was Lady Anastasia.
Yeah, we know that. We met her.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Ramen is going to look to Leah in that sort of unspoken facial expression language that
You need an adult.
some folks have. Well, no, it's the I think Rowan knows you enough to know that your urge to tell the truth in this moment to Gray might be fairly high, and so Rowan's given space to like look to check in with you to see if that is an urge you were wanting to act upon.
Oh, she's already on the cusp of saying it.
Yeah.
Like because no one has told her no, and
Yeah,
also
yeah.
no one has. We haven't me, the player. I'm still trying to make sure I understand all the details that we've
Mhm.
discovered from talking, because we had 7 digressions throughout that conversation. So I
Just
lost
like-
track of certain details.
It's
So
all right. It's all right. Y'all are perfect. It's fine.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think Leah's waiting for. Leah is not saying anything as of yet, but is very much in that space of like. I think probably there's an understanding between Rowan and Leah that like Leah will lie, but is not going to be in any way, shape, or form happy about doing that to Gray of all people.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. And in for a penny, in for a pound with the lack of impulse control. We did find some things out, but it's kind of sensitive information. Are we for sure somewhere private right now?
We can go somewhere private.
That would be good.
All right. And
Gives
she,
Leah a little, like the elbow nod, like the elbow like pat.
mhm.
Gives Leah a little elbow pat. Okay.
Let's go to my room. Because you know how you go back to your parents' house, you just stay in your old room.
Mm-hmm.
Raina has one of those here. So like it's
Does it have awkward teenager decorations?
yeah, a little bit. She moved out when she was 19, so it's definitely still has some. With her, she's a ranger of sort, right? So like she guides you through the intricate tree hallways and some stairs. Nobody really like, and Gray is following, and no like any like people in the hallways don't necessarily like give you any problems. You were with these people and they're from here and they have rooms here, sort of thing, you know. It is, I mean, there may be like one side eye, it's like, okay, they're all going continue to party, I don't know, sort of thing. But you know, there's not a lot of sus. You're able to freely move around as long as you're with the siblings. And when she does lead you to the room, it's quite large. It, you know, it's not just a bedroom, it's sort of like a little, it's like a suite, right? Like there's like the bed that's covered in different furs, like there's like a dressing area, sort of a place to like eat and stuff. She lived here about 9 years before she went out into her own doing things. There's not a lot of places for other people to sit, so you'll probably, unless, you know, people are like rude and sit on our bed, but like, you know,
Crisscross applesauce sitting on the floor.
right. I will take 2 minutes. I gotta empty my bladder, but y'all can have a second to yourselves. I was trying to wait to break, but I was like, nope, can't do it.
That's okay.
No.
We can all discuss the seating order.
Yeah. I think on the journey, Rowan might just give everyone a little look to check in with the basically non-verbal, are we okay with telling them?
Because I suppose both in and out of characters checking
Mm.
the things that what are the things that we have learned from talking with our mysterious guest?
That they're
Learned that it came from
changeling.
well, that the
Yeah.
biggest one is that
The Soundophons stop people having babies because their line have been getting assassinated and are also not getting any. I think I'm not sure which of the two is the stronger of the two motives, but
the answer is yes.
Metatron hired Changeling and says, can you be a pregnant person and go and give people hope to try and encourage them to have babies until they can figure shit out? Because I don't think anyone else really knows what's like why Soundophons necessarily decided to do that or who's doing
Wait,
the
were they sent
assassinations.
specifically to the God King, or were they just kind of sent to the world?
Seems like God King because the
Hmm.
God King believes it's his baby, right? So I'm assuming
Yeah,
that
yeah,
had
yeah,
to be
true,
fairly
true,
targeted.
true.
Yeah.
And I imagine it's because it's a high profile figure.
Yes.
That's the reason why they were sent.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
sent to be that particular person. So the
Okay.
key thing is that the key things are the assassinations.
And also
And-
they're also very interested in who killed the guy.
Yeah,
This-
because
this
it might be the
this
same
funeral
assassin.
guy. Yeah.
Mhm. So we've agreed that we could try and find that out for the changeling.
Okay. Val, we were just
Mhm.
doing a quick recap for each other and for my benefit
Perfect.
of like what were the big things that we discovered with talking to our
Mhm.
mysterious guest. And so sort of coming back into that moment
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
And thumbs upping in character that we were all okay with revealing this to these two.
All right, cool. Well, she sits down on one of her on the edge of her bed and just, or like the
Mm.
bed frame,
Mm-hmm.
and just sort of looks, and it's like, all right, you gonna fucking tell me or what?
Pregnant lady.
Ate her skin. It was weird, man.
That's what we'll lead with. Because maybe it all gets better from there.
Sorry, I just went
Knuckles
with the thing that was on my
and-
mind first.
Well, we did because I feel like being a Fae being as well, Rowan instinctively, like purposefully didn't ask their name because Rowan does believe in not doxing changelings, so was like, you know what, you do you. Yeah, so we found out that is not actually pregnant, but is here
And you
doing
knew something smelled weird. That
was
great.
well, yeah, because like people will change their smell when they anyway. But it's just hired to do so. They are not the party behind this. Metatron's trying to cover up for the fact that his twin Soundophon has been like, no babies, because his family line seemed to be getting assassinated, and so he's kind of reacted to that in this way. And Metatron believed doing this would have the common people be like, whoa, she got pregnant, we can too. All's good. Let's go make babies. I think that covers everything, right, everyone? Have I missed anything?
Yeah.
Great. As Rowan has said, if not directly, then at least implied that it may very well be the same person who caused your father's death.
Assassinators.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. There's a pensive look on his face. And Raina's face has just been a scowl this whole time. But they do sort of like, both of their arms are folded across their chest, and they do like exchange looks with each other. Interesting.
We would love to know if you know any details about, I mean, I'm aware you don't have to share with us, but maybe we can help figure out if there is a connection. Also, the God King does not know that this is not real, so I feel like...
Oh, don't worry, he doesn't even want to talk to us, so it's not like we're gonna say anything. That's Raina.
Clutch.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. One of those, huh?
I mean, we are bastards. Raina holds up her fingers. 2 minutes. I need a sibling huddle. And like the room is like big enough for like her and Gray to like huddle it in the corner, and just kind of like there's just like that whisper thing that they do with each other. Like it's a very, very, very sibling moment, and you know, they sort of come back, and Raina's all right. We do know the details of our father's death. What specifically did you want to know?
Oh. He died?
And any evidence of who might have done it. I don't know if they'd leave a calling card. There was some mentions about the Angel of Death and some cult.
Oh. Okay.
Not confirmed, just suspected because assassinations.
Okay. That's her like repeating that over and over
I
again.
feel
Like
like
there is
she had a
she's having a moment.
Okay.
And like there's it's in every time she says okay, like her face gets a little bit more like redder and a little bit angrier.
Have you got
Gray
any?
looks a little bit more afraid.
Okay. Did I say the wrong thing?
No, it's fine. Our father was in his bed sleeping peacefully when his heart was just ripped out of his chest and taken.
That takes a lot of effort.
It does.
Wow. Blood trail anywhere?
No. Just a pool.
Have you, now this may seem like an insensitive question, but I happen to know that Brazen's sense of smell is immaculate. Did you guys note any kind of unusual odor on the air or next to the father with the wound that might give you some impression of what might have done that?
Well, I'm not a werewolf, so no.
Right, what he is, it begged the question.
I don't know. Gray, did you smell anything strange while you were looking at her father's dead body? And he's like, oh, yeah, there's something I'm not telling y'all.
See? You know, it was a good question. I felt bad there for a moment. Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
just something I'm not telling y'all.
Are you not a werewolf too?
Oh no, I'm definitely a werewolf.
Okay.
Like, definitely a werewolf. Mhm.
Yeah. I appreciate that this is like exceptionally personal. It doesn't really get much more personal. And what you've already shared, I for one
Mhm.
feel very honored that you have shared it. And I don't want to intrude in this moment, but equally, if there is anything we can do to help, I'm sure all of us would gladly do what that is.
Mhm.
It's purely
There's
out.
a very, no pun intended, pregnant pause in the room after you make that suggestion.
Mhm.
But we're not in any position to go and investigate this ourselves. We are sort of caught up in family drama when it comes to legality of our children, inheritance. If you want information about Azrael's cult, you should probably go ask her mom.
Okay. Where would we find your mother?
Yeah, Gray, where would we find her? Where's she at? What's she doing these days? Because I don't hear from her. I haven't heard from her in about 5 years. And
Oh,
again, he looks very abashed and very
Yeah.
ashamed. Like, this is a very personal topic, clearly, for these siblings. And I was like, she's probably hanging out in Ron about now with Yalesh. Yeah, there you go. And Ron is south of y'all,
so yeah.
and Yalesh is, y'all would know him, about him. He's a very famous wizard. Just he's known to be the only being in existence that has the ley line address to the world tree itself. Like, he's the only one that you know of that knows how to tell people to get there, kind of thing. He's yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well,
He's a big wizard. I say big. He's kind of scrawny, but
okay. Big time magical nerd energy.
oh yeah, for sure.
Nice.
I'm just
Okay.
kind of
Mhm.
poking a knickknack that might be on like a piece of furniture or something, and I'll stop and turn and just be like, the wizard? What's your mom doing with the wizard?
She just it's like her best friend. It's like her only friend. Alive, sort of ordeal. But yeah, she likes to run experiments with him, you know.
Why does your mother know about Azrael?
Well, he was a part of the cult.
Oh,
Was is a big
well, I mean, they all disbanded, didn't they? So,
oh, that's a very nice way of putting it. Yeah.
it
Hey, you don't really get to just stop being in a cult.
was
Yeah.
explosive and yeah, killed
She's
people.
no longer she doesn't work on behalf of them anymore. She's sort of a free agent. She's been kind of busy the past couple of years, just trying to become a god. It's not a big deal.
Difficult work.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's takes away from family time.
How long has she been friends with this wizard and experimenting and trying to become a god?
But that's recently, honestly. I don't know all the logistics of doing it, but she's had it kind of bad most of her life. And all she really wants is her own agency. And she figures the best way to stop being used by the gods is just to become one.
Question, do we know how common knowledge and how many of us would have that knowledge that in order to become a god, you have to have some divine blood in you?
That's probably the only thing that y'all would know, is that in order to become a god, you do have to have divine blood in you. There are other steps, and they could be personal steps for other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
There
that's
are
a-
rumors that the God King attempted some stuff, but he decided to stop because he was satisfied, which is why he's called the God King. He's not a god, he's sort of like this in between sort of thing. He's like, you know what, I'm good. I'm the most one of the most powerful people now, so why worried about actual godhood?
So we could connect some dots that their mother clearly is some.
Yeah.
Has some of that. Okay.
Yeah.
This may seem like a leading question, just out of sheer curiosity. What was her relationship like with your dad? Did they part on good terms?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They parted on great terms. I mean, I wouldn't even say they ever parted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But if y'all are looking to ask her about any surviving cult members that would be attacking Sandalphon's children, then she would probably be south in Ron right about now.
Okay.
Normally, big world-changing things, a seasoned adventurers would love to accompany you. We would love it. We got to be with our family right now,
That's fair.
especially our kids.
If you have any kind of message you want to pass on to her or anything when we go
Right,
down.
and it is this.
I can do that. I can listen. If you want that, I will deliver it with gusto.
Yeah, that's and Gray's like, no, I'm all right. She knows how I feel.
Is she going to be pretty caught up that your dad's dead? That now feels an insensitive term to use, but you know what I mean.
Maybe. I'm not quite sure sometimes about her emotions aren't always readable. The whole growing up in a cult thing. She's also just kind of weird in general. I love her, but man, she's fucking weird.
I like weird people.
But if that's something that y'all want to do, I think that we could, as official representations of the representatives of the Untamed, this would definitely be salaried work for you. I mean, it's an
Woohoo!
opportunity to be
I mean,
heroes.
yeah. Woo.
Does that come with transport?
Well, we're here. I mean, we could probably get you horses or a carriage or a buggy. That being said, you will be going through Betsy's territory. So y'all should be able to maneuver around her as long as she's not in heat. So I think you're fine. But I would avoid the snail.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I'd love to see, even just from a distance. From a distance. Be great.
Oh, she's a sight to behold. I wouldn't get too close though. She's got like this aura that just sucks you in.
What, like charisma?
More like slime.
Oh.
She a slug or a snail?
She's a snail.
So she's technically eatable.
But slugs
Are you-
aren't. What's the difference?
No, they're not actually. Fun
But-
fact.
Isn't
Mm.
a slug
They will
just
make you sick.
a snail without a shell?
They're different.
They are? I just thought they were homeless.
No.
Oh.
I'm so sorry to sad revelations all around, Brazen.
Yeah.
I think, things can be
I would-
edible, but when they are the size of like, I mean, is she like the size of a city or like the size of a country? Like, how big is Betsy?
She is she's a kaiju, so she is Godzilla sized.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's as big as a city.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
she would be able to provide escargot meat for quite some time.
I mean, any large snail could be considered a kaiju compared to a regular size snail, so it's a good distinction.
Mm-hmm.
I like how we're bringing up these thoughts in front of the two bastard children still grieving their father. I just want to point that out as a player to everyone. We're bringing these thoughts up while they are grieving and telling us about their shitty mom.
I mean, Brazen has so many questions they want to ask, but is at least somewhat emotionally conscious. Like, maybe I shouldn't ask about the state of the body other than the heart being out, and did they keep the heart and all that while they're.
The heart's gone. The heart left with the assassin.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was wondering,
Yeah, yeah,
especially if
yeah.
we're in a blood kind of thing. Like that
Yeah.
would be a proof of killing, I guess, or also just a trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Or an ingredient in something.
Exactly.
The heart's gone. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you use a little light humor just to ease tension. Well, I for one am down for this.
Yeah, of course.
You guys want to go meet a wizard and a asshole mom? Am I allowed to say asshole mom? Is she an asshole?
Ray's like, no. Raina's like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You know,
alright.
tomato, right? So
Yeah.
she did her best.
One person's trash is another person's treasure. Okay.
She's okay.
All right.
Oh, we are coming really, really close to our break. So I think before we
Mhm.
do a completely like big old scene change of so a lot of walking and talking, possibly a snail encounter, I think this is a really good time for us to take a break, and y'all get to leave the NPCs and just be amongst yourselves. So, which makes me excited because I love hearing y'all play with each other. I don't know if our producer is there and good to put us up. Awesome. Yeah. See you soon. Hey everyone, welcome back. We're back with our second half of the second episode of Ballad of Conjurers. I would like to remind chat that we're actually doing a giveaway of this system. It's by Nathan Blades, and Nathan has provided us with some copies to give away. If you are interested, we will do the Angie, if I'm correct, the drawing at the end of the session before we do our outros. Just type in !BOC giveaway in chat to enter for a chance to win. But yeah, just like that. Look at it, just like that. And that's how you get in. And there's a little link. So with that, let's get back to the story. Do y'all want a little bit of in-character time to convene, or are y'all good just for yourselves? Are you kind of good with like mental convening on the road in a scene, or would you prefer to have a scene where y'all are all together before y'all take off on your grand adventure to save the world?
I'm
I
okay with
think-
on the road.
Yeah, I'm good walk and talk.
Awesome. So the next day, y'all are sent off with y'all don't want to be too conspicuous as far as being seen as, because you will be going into the wilderness, which is quite dangerous. It's got kaiju in it and other kinds of baddies and monsters and such, but you all are provided with 2 horses and a small carriage for your belongings or for people if need be, that you should be able to give off and ran. But of course, before all of that, you have to go to the checkpoint to pick up all your silver items and whatnot. So, and surprisingly, a lot of No is actually there because begrudgingly, it was supposed to be his last day yesterday, but unfortunately, unfortunately his relief caught a bit of a cold and he had to work one more day before hibernation starts. But you know, he just like, all right, give me your tickets, I give it back to you, and we will make sure everything is accounted for before you go. Did you enjoy the party?
Yeah, it was great. Did you have fun?
I didn't go. I was supposed to go to bed. So my
Yeah,
boss
but did
called
you
me.
have fun though?
No,
Aw.
Did you have a good sleep?
I didn't get to sleep. I had to come back and do
Oh.
a shift.
Oh, no, that's not good. Do you have union
No.
representation? No.
No, there is union representation. It's just
Okay.
there really was, honestly. It's just 36 more hours. It's fine. I get overtime for it. Like, I am being properly compensated, and then at the beginning of the warm season, I get an extra week off in the beginning, so
Okay.
so that I can go enjoy the sun somewhere down, not here.
We can leave you a good review if that helps.
Oh, you know what that would be? Hold on. Pats his little jacket, his little vest. Here you go. Here's the card. And you could put it in the there's a complaint box, and there is a
compliment box.
Yes, compliment box. You can just put it in there.
Can we all have
Nice.
one? I'm sure we would
Yes,
all
yes,
love
bird
to.
lady. You had something you wanted to say. I'm sorry.
Wait, are we giving you a Yelp review essentially? Is this what we're doing?
Yes.
Mhm. Right, glowing review.
You've all been quite wonderful, actually. Usually people are always surprised that they can't bring their silver into this city, but it's like, hello.
Well, if you need a sudden quick holiday, we're heading south. If you want to.
You know, as wonderful as that would be, because I am from down there, but I'd rather just go. I'm just too tired. I'd rather just go nap. I'm 5 years old. I'm toward the end of my cycle. You know, I've only got a couple good years left on me.
Do you have family down there?
Oh yeah, I have about 800 brothers and sisters everywhere. Like for some reason, like Betsy didn't eat us when we were born, so like we were able to escape as a whole. Normally entire clutches don't. She just is like, oh look, eggs, num num. But, you know.
That's a
I'm the
lot of
same way with
siblings.
eggs.
Well, I'm glad you didn't find this either.
No, blessed by Betsy.
You know, she keeps all the other ones away. So, like, I mean, would you rather that 3-headed winged dragon thing that flies up north and bothers the sky ships? I don't think so. I'm good with the very slow snail. With the big monkey? Absolutely not. I don't want that giant monkey anywhere near me. He can stay where he's at, on his island.
I love this.
How slow is a snail if it's big though?
Very slow. But the thing is, it's like, even though it's slow, it still is big, so it still moves a further distance despite
That's what I'm
its
saying. Isn't
size.
moving a
Yes.
further distance over a shorter time fast?
It's all relative, my dear.
Oh.
It's all relative.
Whoa.
It was an absolute pleasure meeting you, Nono.
I know, I'm spectacular. Well, anyway, have safe journey. Here's your stuff. Like, shows it at you.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got 2 horses just waiting for you, and carriage. Try not to get run over by snail.
Do they have names, the horses?
I don't know. You can name them whatever you want.
Nice.
Yeah.
Greg and
Bye.
Dustin.
You can name them Greg and Dustin.
I'm gonna say Jack and Diane, but that works too.
Honestly, we protect Dustin and Craig with our lives.
Make up for being mean to them in the first episode.
They'll name some horses after them. Like, it's great. I'm here for it. So y'all are yeah, you have 2, and they're draft horses. They're not like necessarily like riding horses. And a small cart. Like, there's not even a there's not even like, you know, like how like a carriage on the cart kind of thing. There are blankets and stuff, but it's mostly just to kind of haul your supplies with. But, and again, it's just because the less attention when you're on the road, the better. There are roads that you can luckily go south in. It is a 3-day ride unhindered to Ron. On the, as long as you don't run into the snail. But yeah, y'all are sort of given this task now, and your journey, the walking begins, as most high fantasy adventures start. So, especially JRPGs, you're going onto the world map. So
Yeah.
have
We're
fun with that.
exiting the
Yeah.
training mode. We're in the
Mhm.
main game now. Mhm.
Yeah.
With this step, I'm further from the Shire than I've ever
Yeah.
been.
The overworld music just starts to play. Bum 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 bum. There you go. Like,
Mhm.
and there's a lot to process for y'all, a lot to speculate, a lot to take in,
Mhm.
and you'll have time to do it. So go ahead, friends. What are y'all doing?
Is there room for people to ride in the back of the cart?
There's usually like, there's definitely room for the shorter legged, probably about 2 or 3 people at a time can ride at the back of the cart. The horses don't move very fast.
I mean,
but
they're gonna
there's-
move faster than I am walking.
Yeah, that's true.
How does werewolf biology work? Like, can I just be a wolf for as long as I want?
Yes, you can. your high red form can speak,
Yeah.
but your wolf form can't. Like you were a wolf, right?
Yeah, but if I
So-
just wanted to run around and
Yeah,
be
you
off
could
my
just
shits.
run around as
Yeah.
a very cute dog.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, is that I'm just kind of looping around, running circles around.
Like, how does your werewolf transformation look, by the way, Brazen? Like, what is it?
Super
What?
cool and sexy, like a magical girl transformation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
We
silhouetted
got
in
the
moonlight.
animal instinct. Nothing. That one's from Yumi Power.
And then just suddenly it's just wolf hair everywhere. It's
Yeah.
so
That's
magical. Yeah.
like-
A snarl at the end.
Does that work with your realistic body horror aspect that you were going?
I was hoping for some Animorphs level of transformation, but
No,
it's
no,
fine.
no. There definitely is, where I think there's more shifting of the form before like fur properly grows, so you can definitely see how everything's extending.
Mhm. Imagine it's very crunchy.
Oh yeah, especially when the knees have to turn into like
Yeah.
the other elbows. It's just like a flop.
So we have like actual gruesome transformation with magic girl transformation music over the top of it.
I mean, Brazen requests that. Brazen requests it because they're like, I'm sorry if this is really scary for you all. If you play music over it, it really isn't as scary, I promise.
Nice.
I'm just imagining like an American Werewolf in London, but you have like the cheeriest bright pop music being played over it. It's such a dissonant thing to imagine.
Not just like cheery pop, like cheery J-pop, okay?
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe
Like
there's like a
cheery-
little. Oh, sorry, go.
yeah, like cheery J-pop from like
2000s.
the 2000s,
Mm.
like a Bonnie Pink song or something. Like
I was thinking like kiss, kiss, fall in love. Hey,
we're both
hey, stop,
we're on
stop.
the same page. Fucking love that show so much. Like,
I love it.
I love it. But yeah, y'all just sort of I don't know how many of you stare at Brazen turning into a wolf, or if y'all kind of choose to turn away. But being a wolf is not a bad idea when you're traveling the roads in general.
Rowan
I
is
was just
Brazen's
wondering-
hype man, so I feel like I'm like flying around you with a music box with the music while
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
transforming
yeah,
at,
yeah,
at
yeah,
your
yeah.
request. Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
is this wolf form bigger than a usual wolf, or is it just like a wolf?
Wolves are really big.
Yeah, but I was thinking of like, you know how Twilight wolves are like.
They're not Twilight wolf sized.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like wolf sized.
Yeah, we're
which
not
means
busting at a
you're-
jorts
You're
here,
still
yeah.
like 12 feet long. Like,
Yeah.
like you're not small. If anything, you might be slightly bigger than an average wolf, maybe closer to dire wolf size, but yeah, like you're not.
Yeah, just to get a scale in my head of like, can I fit through doorways?
Bree can ride you. I'm just gonna say that at the very least, probably Bree can ride you.
You have an open invitation, but you need to know that I'm gotta go fast, looping.
Oh, that's fine. That's perfectly fine.
You're making
Yeah.
smoothies, just like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what Brazen's doing, is just like doing loops around, because I'm sure the horses are not sprinting, but Brazen is just sprinting around in circles. They say it's them doing a perimeter, but it's just mainly to like, they got the zoomies.
Immaculate.
Sit in the cart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In fact, there is gonna have to be a place. Someone does have to drive the horses. So are you gonna be the horse driver, or is Leah gonna be the horse driver? Or what's the feeling on that?
I think by nature of we have two people doing zoomies and we have one person doing a hype man role and one person in the cart, I think by default that makes me the person doing the responsibility job.
Fair. Fair. The grown up of this entire between I think Leah and Autumn, like those are the only two actual adults in this entire group. Like the rest of you, like, you know, adults in body and mind.
We're chaos
questionable.
gremlins. It's fun.
There's
Come
a lot
on.
of chaos gremlins, it's true. Well,
I just sort of assume everyone else's minds just have the do 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 music on like a loop just happening at
That's
any given moment.
It's the
definitely
Homer
what's going on.
Homer Simpson with the monkey with the symbols. Like just at some point I feel like Rowan might go ahead and land. Rowan weighs very little, so I imagine we'll just kind of sit themselves down next to Leah to chat. How are you doing? That was some heavy stuff back there.
Is it more proper to give the more enjoyable lie, or is it more proper to give the truth?
Right now with me, give the truth if you're comfortable. You know you don't have to be proper around me.
You seem more capable of being proper when the situation calls for than I am, I would say.
When I have to be.
I understand that it was that they were hired to do this. It was simply their job. However, I can't help but feel a certain, I don't know how to quite describe it. It feels like a well of rage somewhere inside of me in regards to just how the whole situation worked out ultimately for Gray.
Yeah. Both things can be true at the same time. They were just doing a job, but it's okay to be angry about that.
But there's we even from the get-go were never going to be a very long-term thing. Gray and I could tell with the kind of life and spirit that he had, the kind of wanderlust, that I was not an appropriate fit for that kind of person. I understand that much about emotions and such. But I still love him very much. And it feels almost rude to still hold on to those sorts of feelings, to have love for someone who has already stated that as much as there's affection between us, that he is perhaps never going to settle down again, and he has many other things to worry about. Is that rude of me to still have care for him?
It's not rude, no. You're entitled to have your feelings. If you were to bring it up with like him with his family around, that might be a little rude in a sense. But no, I think you're always entitled to feel your feelings because they're there for a reason. And because they're there for a good reason, it's a care and a love for a person. That's not a bad thing.
It's hard not to interpret it as such. There's quite a lot that becomes intense for me when I sit in any of those feelings for too long. And I would not like anyone to get hurt as a result of me not knowing control. Least of all, and she, you can tell she says this with a lot of trying to hold herself back, but it does let slip. She says, particularly you.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, do you regret that you're not with him?
No, I would not ask him to give up his freedom just for me. That is not something that would feel right.
Right. You
Just
regret that it didn't work out. Well, it is what it is in terms of his feelings, but do you have a wish that you could be with him?
do you know what it was about him that I found most flattering and charming?
Hmm. No. He kind of had an innocence about him, which I kind of dug.
Gray was wonderful because he felt free, despite all the things that truly he is not able to be free around. He felt free. He felt open. He felt like the kind of person for whom you could meet in your worst moments and yet find yourself heartened. Yes, that freedom is very appealing to me. He has the same sort of frivolous approach that Bree does, and I think she looks over probably wherever Bree is doing zoomies
Yeah.
with Brazen, and I think you can see on her face there's a look of like longing towards Bree, but it's very blushing. There and it's something that I admire greatly in you, that I find I think the right word is fetching, because I don't know, I don't understand how people do emotions. I can feel them in small bursts for myself, but I can't. Too much of it feels as though my whole body becomes overloaded. The senses dull and then suddenly become put to an extreme that I can't quite articulate. And so I treasure seeing that freedom in anyone. Happiness, the joy, the wanderlust. It's appealing.
Because you wish you could have it too?
More because I wish I understood how all of you do it so easily and without fear.
Well, I think some people do it despite the fear. Some of us do it because we have fear.
What would you ever have to be afraid of, Rowan? You're charming, you have a good presence, you light up a room that you enter with but a few words and the grace of your just general presence. What could ever make you afraid?
Not having anyone to share it with?
If I may be so bold to say, I don't think there's anyone in this world who would ever be less than at a loss if they could not have your presence at least once in their life.
Well, that's very charming of you to say.
It's not charming, it's just the truth. The truth is not meant to be flattering, it is just what it is.
Well, something can be charming and truthful. I think I think knowing that, everyone can have their moments of self-doubt or a fear of losing something, things maybe that they take for granted. Um, you know, I think that you have an opportunity to have that kind of freedom too.
I think there is a look of I think it's almost a look of regret on her face.
Mm.
as you say that. It's like I've she holds on to it for a bit, and then she changes topic. I think in her mind thinking it's unrelated to all of this, but
Mm.
I think Rowan's perceptive, if it makes sense to me, Rowan's perceptive to know why she's bringing up this topic. It's like, are all of them always so petty? The angels, the gods, all of those divine types, are they always this petty?
Yes. I imagine so.
Do they have no love or interest in those connected to them?
People with extreme amounts of power rarely do, I think. Maybe that's just my opinion. I'd like to think some of us might matter to them, but that's probably. I think those that understand and exist with the people around them and appreciate the eccentricities and the beauties in the world around them are likely some of the best of us. And it's the ones that let it get to their head and do what the God King does, and just
Half about.
yeah. They're too busy trying to hoard importance and status to themselves, not realizing that every time they build more things around them, it is causing a greater distance between the people around them.
You think they fear what would happen if those they cared about got too close to their power? Do you think they find those they ignore too weak or too dangerous?
Some, maybe, but not all. It's, it's about what you do with that power. If
And
there's a good heart driving a person, then I don't think that would be the case.
I think she hasn't been looking at you directly, saying throughout the entire conversation. I think eye contact is very hard for her,
Mm-hmm.
but she does look at you directly for this last question she asks, and is, do you think then they just try and forget about those things and just leave them to be forgotten? That they try and make what they don't want to interact with forgettable?
I think those who have a concern to ask these questions about themselves are usually the good ones.
Moves horse slightly to the side to avoid an incoming brazen.
I was trying to.
I think Rowan will take that opportunity to place a kiss on your. I'm aware it's like, well, it's kind of a cheek. I'm aware that you have a beak, but yeah.
For the purposes of affection, it's a cheek.
It'll yeah.
It'll suffice.
Mm-hmm.
I think she doesn't necessarily broach more conversation with you after that, but I think you have an understanding of why
concerns.
she's yeah.
Yeah, I think Rowan's aware. Yeah.
As y'all come down this road, and it, in your belt, like you're almost toward end day, you sort of, the road takes you in turns to follow a cliff edge, and as you look onto the horizon, you see the ranges of mountains and a large valley with the river carved out into it. And as you look sort of out towards the sun for a second, you definitely, one of those mountains is definitely moving. and just sort of like moving slowly but quickly just along the valley, like carving it out as this very iridescent, beautiful, in a weird way, giant, colossal snail just doing her thing. She has several tentacles. By all accounts, she's like, think of like what a flail snail is, but in kaiju form.
So it was a prophecy that Craig and Dustin encountered the tentacles.
Yeah. Rowan is still like in his mind, he's like, they were vines, like just he's like, you know what? Yeah.
They're all
Tentacles.
tendrils.
They're
Like,
tendrils, yeah.
mhm.
They sure are.
And, you would all know that towards for your own safety, it is about time to find a place to camp before the sun sets and the critters come about. What do y'all do?
I mean, Brazen's and Bree are right there to scout ahead if they need to find a camp.
What about Autumn? Does Autumn have anything that they want to do?
Just been riding in the back, listening in on conversation, but in a polite way. And as we are getting towards the end of the night here and I see that giant snail, you'll just kind of hear a quiet voice say, I've never seen anything quite like that before. This world is full of bizarre things. Are you getting tired in front?
We should probably start winding down soon. Where are Brazen and Bree? I have to ask this. This is a very important question.
Running!
We're exploring.
Yeah, we're exploring! Brazen's sniffing about.
You are
Just-
sniffing about, aren't you?
Yeah.
Especially
Especially as we're getting up to this big Bessie.
Yeah, don't worry. Like, Betsy is like, she's so big and like in the valley, like you see her in the horizon, like you are several miles away from her. I would definitely like to point that out. It's that you have like a very clear shot of her, as there's no curve to this horizon, by the way. Just to kind of, that's just something to kind of help y'all on with that.
Is it a wooded area that's around?
Yeah, it's mostly wooded for sure.
Okay.
It's mostly wooded. It's cavernous, like there are cliffs to possibly even look for maybe in a cave or something, which is probably a better option. But if y'all want to camp out in the open, that is on y'all.
I'm just imagining running through the forest and poor Bree getting clotheslined on a low-hanging branch. Just
I might try to like use some of my powers just to kind of get interact with the tree and try to get a branch down without harming the tree to get wood for a little fire, because we all want Brie to cook for us. So
of course.
I'll try and get some firewood to get that going.
Yeah, I think sort of to help with that, while Rowan's getting the like base materials, I think anyone watching Leah would see her like sort of like hold out the staff so that it like starts floating in front of her, and I'm going to spend a point, so summoning point, and going to bring out my elemental friend here to help us with this. And let me see. Here we go. I have a summoning chant for 1 SP being spent. Here we go. Gentle spark of life's divinity, I impart my will into you now to aid us in our time of need. And she sort of like holds out her hand and shapes like a little friend made out of fire that it looks as though the flame that's being used to create the elemental, she's sort of pulling it from her own feathers coming out, and the shape it looks very much like a smaller, much more fire fairy version of Rowan, actually. Is just going to do
Aw.
like a little dance around the wood that Rowan set down, and just sort of very cheekily doing a like, did I do good? I did good, didn't I? Like very much one of those, and like the little wings on the back of them are just like fluttering like in time to emphasize any of their points that they make, because they're speaking to everyone else. It sounds incomprehensible. It's just weird ass like fire noises, but to Leah it sounds like she's just hearing a variation of him speaking, going like, come on, who do you love?
Love it. I imagine just to like add to that, Rowan starts fluttering their own wings just to be like, yeah, fairy power.
Making a big show, aren't you?
Hell yeah.
I love it. For Brazen and Bree, as y'all kind of did a little scout around, a little yes,
exploring.
we found a little spoon. Brazen, you catch a scent on your wolf nose.
Okay, immediately following it, of course.
It smells like eggs.
That sounds nice. Even though, like, Brazen probably doesn't fully register Bree. Like, knows Bree's on their back, but is also like, oh, cooking.
She
even though
forgot that like Bree's there and is now off on the hunt for eggs.
Yeah. But it's more like oh, this must be our cooking or something like that, because Bree make good egg. Let's go.
Where are you going, Brazen?
And then keeps running. This is the dog can't
I
talk.
don't know.
Just sniffing.
I'm just gonna keep holding on for the ride.
Yeah, and you trot deeper into the brush, and y'all are in technically a rainforest, but not but it's more of a temperate rainforest. So you got big sequoias and like fern grounds and things like that. It's not jungle. It's more of like, hey, how I live here in Vancouver. That's like Pacific Northwest rainforest, not necessarily Amazon rainforest. And you sort of come across this mound like nested next to this big old sequoia, and there are several eggs around the size of like less, for our reference, less about a football, like an American football size. Just probably about a dozen or so hanging out.
Brazen is just walking around sniffing more, just being like, you know how dogs, when they smell something from far away and then they get close, they have to do their extra sniffs, like their really close up inspection sniffs, just to make doubly sure. Just like, yeah, this was it. Okay.
Yeah, you definitely found these eggs. Mm-hmm.
And then
These
like
are the eggs you're smelling. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of looks back up at Bree and then back to the eggs.
Well, that's not my
The egg
cooking.
smell.
Well, they're not cooked, so
Okay.
yeah, it's a nest. Mm-hmm.
Of? Do we know what kind of eggs?
Do you?
Do I?
Do you?
I will hop off of Brazen and go and inspect the eggs.
like bird eggs.
Okay, that's fine. I'm okay
Yeah.
with birds for the most part.
They look like bird eggs.
Wait. I expect I'm going to collect the eggs.
Okay. Like I said, they're about football sized. Do you want all of the eggs?
How much is all?
There's a dozen. Do you have saddlebags for your wolf? Like
I do not. I
I
will
think-
take 2.
Yeah, I think Brazen shifts into hybrid form, so they actually have like appendable, opposable. They
and
have
you
they
can
have
speak.
thumbs
Yeah.
and hands. Yeah, I'm just like, do you need help?
Yes, please. Let's bring the eggs back and we can make some omelets or
Egg.
some quiche.
Yes, egg.
Waddle
know
back
what
with our
bird these-
eggs.
Yeah, do you know what bird they're from?
No, but they're from a very large bird.
Are they gonna be angry?
I mean, maybe.
Should we
We'll cross
run
that bridge when
fast?
we come to it.
Yeah, let's
It'll be
run
fine.
fast. Run, 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 run.
Start running.
Yeah, you're
like-
on my shoulders this time because I'm like hiking with like football eggs.
You find the camp just fine, and as you know, you have Autumn and Leah and Rowan having a lovely little starting to make camp. Here comes Bree and Brazen with giant eggs just running over.
I'll be setting up a tent
Mhm.
and see the two of them running over with the eggs, and I'll just shake my head like, oh, this again.
Look,
We've
eggs!
got eggs.
I love that both me and Angela both head tilted in opposite directions there, and I imagine that was perfectly in character. Just be like,
Bird cocks head,
yeah.
Faye cocks head to the other
Yeah.
side.
Those are big.
Yes. Val, I had curiosity. Would I be able to, by any chance, make a roll for this to know the exact
Yeah.
type of egg that they may
Man,
have just taken?
what?
The
Roll for
Arcana in
Burb?
this.
Like
I mean, I am also Burb, but I don't think that gives me special knowledge about the eggs. That's why I'm asking. Arcana would probably be more lore related.
yeah, I feel like was for like lore related or nature related roles.
Or would it be athletics would be more appropriate?
No, honestly just roll me a d8 with the +1 because I don't think it like does anything, but you are a bird. So
But you are Burb.
but
This
you
is-
are this is
there-
bird related lore. Like we're just gonna like
I-
lore with
I-
Burb.
I roll with Bert. I love that
Yeah.
this game is prompted. So we just finished seeing you eat skin and also roll with Burb are both phrases that have come up in the same
Yeah.
session.
My
that's-
own skin. Like,
That's 2, so I don't know.
you're like, huh, I've never seen anything like that in my life. That's weird. I hope it was fine taking them. And sort of like in that thought process, you hear the squeal of horses as a large, when I say hand with razor sword like figures, leaps out of the forest and swipes at your cart, and the cart breaks and the horses are released and they take off running. And as you sort of turn your head and look, you see this, it's a bird, but again, it has hands that are swords. Emma might know what this is actually.
Mhm, yeah, yeah.
Like,
I'm feeling, bird, as in like raptor, or we?
no, it's weirder than that.
okay.
And it's got like one blind eye, and it does it like these clicking. It's got almost like a parrot face, and it sort of has like these clicking like noises, like
Yeah.
as it's like looking for its children. If anyone knows what a therizinosaurus is, that is what you're dealing with here.
Oh, we fucked around and we about to real find out.
And how many little tats do you have?
Brazen got like 2 armfuls, just as many as they could with their like giant wolf form.
Probably 3 or 4 on you.
I have like
Yeah.
maybe 2.
Okay, so you have like half of her nest, sort of thing. And then sort of coming from the other side, you feel the ground shake as her mate comes out, because birds do mate for life, apparently. Like Therizinosaurus do at the very least. So yes, it is a bird, but it's a non-avian bird.
No.
And here I was
It's
thinking I was
Angry
gonna
Bird.
have to deal with the cassowary.
It's worse than a
Therizinosaurus
cassowary.
are-
It's quite
are
worse than a cassowary.
Nasty looking. Like we're talking like
Yeah, like their hands are swords. This
Yeah.
this is not something I made up.
No,
No, I just looked up the image of what this thing is supposed to look like. It's terrifying. It's just a big old dinosaur, but imagine the hands, just fucking blade arms. It's terrifying.
What it is. And y'all have a problem to solve, and that y'all took some eggs that you weren't when you said that you were gonna have eggs. It's like, this is the best time to introduce a Therizinosaurus today.
yeah.
Yeah. What do?
Give him back, give him back, give him back.
It's just turn around and be like, oh, hi.
Sorry.
Autumn
Jesus.
just like chilling in their tent, just looked at this and just like, I'm washing my hands of this whole thing.
Not my circus, not my monkey.
Still like setting up the upright. I'm just holding it while this is happening, just cocking an eyebrow and just looking on slack-jawed terror.
Yeah, they're terror birds, essentially, of some sort. So, no, terror bird's a completely different animal. But yeah, this is how y'all decide to approach doing this, whether you want to fight, whether you want to try and coax these things away from you, that's up to y'all. But I gotta pee again, and y'all have a minute to decide how y'all want to handle this problem.
Okay, first off, I looked these guys up as well, and there was a little like sound, like volume button next to it. So I was like, oh, is this like a little pronunciation guide? And I clicked it, and I just went in my head. Apparently, how are you supposed to know what the dinosaur would sound like, man? How was I supposed to know that they were going to put in dinosaur sounds to scare me?
No one ever
Yeah.
expects the dinosaur sound.
Yeah.
Did the
I like that in the
Therizinosaurus
Jurassic-
eat meat?
Probably.
Therizinosaurus
I mean,
and its
looking,
there-
kind
at,
are
the,
the
there
looking
may be-
at the claws on it, I would assume so.
No, hang on. Despite it being a member of the theropod clan that consisted mainly of carnivorous dinosaurs, Therizinosaurus and its kind are the only members to be strictly herbivores.
They can
Thank
still
you,
fuck you
Google.
up.
Yeah, I was
Listen.
about to
Yeah.
say that's irrelevant. I don't care about the eating part. I care about the
Yeah.
it trying to kill us part.
Oh yeah, it's
What
gonna
are
do
we
that.
doing?
We
Oh,
stole her babies.
I'm willing to
Well, they're
fight.
technically not babies yet.
Yeah.
Well, there may be a baby growing in there.
Stole delicious egg.
Stole
Protein.
delicious
Stole
egg.
delicious
Extra
Yeah.
egg.
protein.
I do not want to fight this thing. I would like to scare it off if need be, but I'd prefer not to fight this thing.
Maybe it's scared of fire.
How is it reacting to the fire we've set up, by the way, Val? How
Like
are
your
they?
little bonfire.
Yeah.
They're more concerned with their eggs than a tiny fire. They are like, as far as like their tallness goes, like their Xenosauruses are like T-Rex height. So
It's like 3 times our height. Yeah. 3
Yeah.
times. At least, yeah.
3 times whose hide? Hide.
Well,
They're
Well,
like
I mean, I could just hide, to be honest.
what's up, friend? Like,
I just yell, still holding the tent pole. It's like, give back the eggs.
Give 'em
Wise
back.
words.
Yeah.
We're
Mhm.
running leave eggs, I think is our takeaway here, or don't engage, just leave egg.
Yeah, that's
What
your
are we
takeaway
doing?
on this. You
That's my
just-
takeaway on this. What are we doing?
Yeah, what are
Genuine
we
question.
doing?
What are we doing? Because they're not gonna stay there looking at us.
Yeah.
I say we vote fight, give back babies. Future babies. That's an interesting point though. I'm assuming it's only like humanoids that haven't been able to have babies then. Yeah. You said that animals
Yeah.
and creatures could
Yeah,
still
animals have
have.
been fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know
I
if we
vote
take
give
it.
back egg.
Okay,
Give back
who's voting for
eggs.
give back egg? Who's voting for fight?
Don't have the eggs.
So I guess it comes down to what do Bree and Brazen do with the rest, with three of
That's
us
true.
saying give back the eggs. What do you two do? Because I think
Yeah.
you two get to decide in this scenario.
Mhm.
You have the eggs.
I love that we
Well,
three are
I'll
like the
just
dog
look at the
parents of
three
like
of
put it
you and
down,
be
put
like,
it down.
Well, all right, I guess. I'll just gently put down the eggs and kind of nudge them over.
Brazen
And then
walks
just
over and
wave
does
as I
the
walk back.
same,
'Cause I'm
tries
like,
to put them down gently with their big clawed hands.
when when y'all put the eggs down and the one that has like the one eye that's missing, she like lurches forward with her hand, and the blades go between like you and the eggs, and y'all are just like slightly between these giant sharp giant fingers, which are made to carve tree bark, and they're vegetarians. I don't know if you know this. And
We
she just
Googled.
like, and they like dig into the ground, and she like swoops them back towards her, and does like weird bird bobbing happy things, and then her mate, yeah, I can't hear you.
Does it look like she would have a hard time carrying them all?
She'll probably like put them in her mouth and carry them. Like, she is T-Rex size.
That's
Not
true.
quite as big as a
Okay.
Rex, but you know, they're big theropods, right?
Yeah. I could
But
leave her a little basket to carry them in, but you know, we could. I'll leave her to it.
they're animals. Like,
Yeah.
But it's as she sort of drags them back gently to her, the head of the male sort of like whips around in front of Bree and Brazen, and his mouth opens, and there are rows of teeth in his beak, like his parrot beak, but you sort of see inside of his like his gullet, in like its tonsils almost, you see it sort of get goopy and a little. And is that an acid spray? That's an acid spray coming out at you too. So go ahead and defend yourselves, please.
what role is that?
Yeah, let's look, because I forgot.
Probably be athletics from all of us. Oh, Lord.
Probably athletics. Let's just check real quick, because my pages. Okay. It's probably something on their end. I think it's a roll on my end, whether or not it's a success or not. And then because it's all rolled depending on successes, not failure, like sort of thing. I'm just
How much we
checking.
succeed, not how much we fail.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let's that's on me. I need D8s. So like it opens up its gullet to to spit acid back at you, and you see it bubbling in its throat. And then around that time, the female like knocks it and its head turns, and the acid spews onto one of the big sequoia trees instead. And the tree just starts to disintegrate at the trunk very quickly, to the point where it will probably fall at some point. Spotlight to the 3 that did not have the eggs. Are y'all gonna do anything in assist? What's the...
Does it look like the tree might fall on them?
It's gonna fall on whatever tents you'll have set up.
Oh,
You've already
can
lost your
I-
card. It's obliterated, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
If there are multiple trees, can I try to encourage growth from like the branches closest to a different tree to like basically anchor itself,
Absolutely.
the tree itself? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll
It's-
fly up if I need to, just
yeah.
to kind of
You would
conduct that
use
area.
your special ability with that.
Yeah.
That would probably be arcane on your end.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you want to go ahead and roll.
So
And I
two-
think it costs an SP, or does it not?
I am.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Depending on the SP spent on an elemental there, which is which is what you're using. You're using your element.
Yeah.
Your wood element, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I think actually at this point it's definitely a 2 because you're doing some kind of protection. So
Yeah. So just
Mhm.
roll 2 dice.
you
Okay.
and you take the highest.
6 and a 4, so 6 would be the highest, which I think is mixed success, right?
That is a mixed success. The wood does grapple on it, kind of like regrows itself in a
Mhm.
way, but the tree does not look stable, and this is officially an unsafe campsite.
Okay. Hopefully it's at least given some time to like help rescue
Yeah.
this stuff. Yeah.
Um
Okay.
Moving the spotlight over as the trees are happening, does Autumn have anything?
If the trees are coming down on the tents that I'm in,
Yeah.
I'm going to just drop the pole and run.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I just run out from the tent, just yell, "Holy shit, what are we doing? We gave the eggs back, right? Why are they so upset?"
Because we tried to take the eggs in the first place. I think they're still mad.
Well, I don't want to fight them, but I'll defend myself and us. I would like to maybe make the leaves in the trees rustle
Mm-hmm.
using wind so that maybe they
Ooh.
think something big is coming,
Ooh, something bigger than them.
and see if that might startle them.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. You can even use the wind to make some sort of sound even on top of that, if you wanted.
Like
to
a big
create some sort of
old
illusion.
howling noise.
Yeah. What do you want to use for that?
I would roll my arcana if you want,
Yeah.
and I'll hope for something nice.
This is probably for a 1, in my opinion. What you got?
I rolled a 1.
No.
We are doing so good, everybody.
It's supposed to be an adventure.
It's supposed to be an adventure where we fight dinosaurs, of course. So how does this failure look for you? Like,
I think I stop, I turn around, I look at the sword armed dinosaur, and I just give with my short little otter arms, I give like a little circle in the air and wiggle around a little bit, making a swirly pattern, and the leaves start to ripple and flutter.
Mhm.
And then right when I'm about to get to the climax, it just stops.
The birds look at each other. The Therizinosaurus look at each other. Like they look at the thing that was about to rustle, and then it stops. And then they look at each other, and they look back at all of you. Leah, do you have anything?
Oh, criminy. Oh dear. Fine. Let's go with the scary approach. She like spreads out her wings as big as she can, and she
Yeah.
is just trying to like pull from the fire and just make a big flame that towers over them, that is to try and
Yeah.
scare them away.
That's
Probably Arcana on that one.
that is definitely Arcana, and that's at least 2 for you as well.
Oh
It's
Christ.
something.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a big magic. Yeah.
I do not have 2 to spend though. Oh, but wait,
Oh,
do
you
we always
don't?
start at 2, or do we gain 2?
You always start at the top, but you also replenish some because you'll have like some romantic stuff and some uneasy stuff that happen.
Okay, then I would
Yeah.
have 2 to spend.
Yeah.
I will roll the
'Cause I
first
think
one,
the
and then I will
beam
quickly
skin was
grab my
uneasy.
second one.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I have grabbed my second one. I will now
Mhm.
hopefully not drop it again, and I will roll them, and we will see if there is some form of success. That is a 7.
That is 7. All right. That is definitely a form of success where the they are frightened, like straight up they scared at this point. That's big fire, right? And they start to back up and retreat. The consequence of this all is that you have this wall of fire has also engulfed your supplies. Like what was left of the carriage.
Damn it.
But y'all have this opportunity now for all of you to get the fuck out.
Yeah, I think we take those.
Yeah, we could take this as a W of a, but did you die though? The answer is no. We succeeded. We lived.
I have four letters to indicate my current course of action. G T F O. Running away.
So, and I mean, this is technically this is a win. It's a defeat, right? Like defeating is a loose term in this world, and it's not like they have like second forms or anything. But but I mean, this is a JRPG. There's gonna be one boss with multiple forms. We know this, but y'all have this opportunity, the GTFO, and to give yourself enough space between you and these dinosaurs with the fire. But y'all are left horseless. You could possibly find your horses again, but you're definitely, unless it was physically on your body, or if you had like something you picked up, like most of the stuff from your cart has been obliterated.
And Brazen try and sniff out the horses at least.
Yes, that's a roll for you, friend.
Okay. What kind of roll
Craig.
would that be?
That'd be in athletics, I think, with your senses, right?
You
'Cause
got
it's
it.
physically, yeah.
Ooh, 4 and a 1.
Oh my goodness. No, your horses are the smell of burning
Everything.
sequoias.
Yeah.
Just your senses are overwhelmed with the smell of burning. Yeah.
I choose to believe they ran in the direction of Betsy and never stopped and got consumed by the tentacles.
by So
Like it was always
I
foretold
mean,
for Drake
wherever
and
Dustin
Dustin.
and Craig are, like, so yeah, the needless pursuit of eggs has, it's okay, it's all right. At least you didn't have to fight them.
It's an adventure.
It's an
Yeah.
adventure, right? Exactly. What do y'all
Mhm.
do?
Uh-huh.
Y'all got a little time. How do y'all end your session essentially with 2 days ahead of you of travel still?
Well, that was
Sorry.
exciting.
Yeah.
Everything's gone.
I mean,
Sorry.
we can hunt. We got foods.
Yeah.
It's all around us.
Yeah. We're definitely we're gonna rough it, but maybe that'll be even Rowan, who is normally like super peppy, is trying to put a positive spin on this and not quite managing. We didn't die though. That's a good thing.
Yeah, nobody's dead. Nobody got injured.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start, like, if it's still that nighttime, just trying to find leaf matter and create my ways to like create some kind of shelter in case it rains or something.
Like a duck blind.
Yeah, basically just something to help with the rain. I will just sit and start working
Yeah,
on that.
it's the rain is definitely, like, oddly enough, it wasn't raining before, but it is now.
It is now. Once you lose things, that's when the rain starts. It signals that something sad has happened.
Tonal shift.
Yeah.
It is prime anime / JRPG territory to have it be like it was a sunny day. It's like we lost all our shit. Man, there's like a thunderstorm coming in right now. It's
Pretty much,
weird.
there's a thunderstorm that y'all are gonna have to cuddle in a makeshift duck blind.
You just sit looking sad and it starts raining and you look like
Well,
David Tennant in
guys,
Doctor Who.
Yeah, how can it get any worse than this?
It get worse because now you have to deal with the wet dog smell from Brazen.
Yeah.
Oh
The
god.
otter's fine.
Sorry.
Otter's great. I'll create some type of bedding for everyone. Make something nice and
Yeah,
soft.
Brazen, I think, might stay in hybrid form to try and provide some shelter if they're big enough,
Just like stand in the duck blind doorway, like, I will guard you from the wind and the rain.
Yeah, more like sit in the doorway to plug it up.
Plus, you double as a pillow.
Exactly.
So like there's like the front side, which is the wet side, or however which way you're facing, and then there's a dry side. That will be the pillow. Yeah.
Leah's just like, if we found a cave or anything to just sort of set up for the night, I kind of think she's just like done a full like bird perch like on the ground to like try and fall asleep, but she opens up a wing if like Rowan wants to like cuddle with her to stay warm.
Rowan enjoys being small spoon with Leah.
Just like you bird spoon.
Yeah.
As y'all settle in for the night after a harrowing attempt at your first camp, as solo members of the Untame, as your own squad, your first true adventure, so to speak. Let's go around. How is I will say though, technically you did defeat 3 HP creatures. So so I would say that y'all would have the ability to do your progression with if players defeated a foe with 3 hit points in the session. Again, defeat is very loose. It's our game. We can define it how we want. You can get a new special talent to your character sheet. If you already have 3 special talents, they instead gain a second native element. But yeah, you will go ahead and get think about that for next week, what you want your new special talent to be. But as y'all are all sitting here a little drenched, let's go around and just give your internal monologue, just a few sentences on how everyone is feeling. And I want to hear from Autumn first, because Autumn did a lot of listening. So I'm sure there's a lot going on in their cute little otter head right now. Like,
Well, it's nice to be out and moving again. I'm very, very upset that we lost everything over a handful of eggs. I get the sense that this is going to be a very interesting trip.
Mhm.
I'm assuming I'm next.
yeah, you can go next.
Okay. Bree's a little disappointed about the eggs, to be honest. She's like, God damn it. This looked really good too. But I guess living is better than eggs. I guess. I can go
Probably
on
could have
and
made
find a
some
new
really
egg.
big balut with it.
But she's excited to be on the road and off adventuring, finding new flavors.
What about Leah? How does Leah feel?
You say me?
Yes, you.
She's having like 8 different things happening in her head all at once. Number one is eggs. What? Like, why did we lose so many things over eggs? 2, that was actually almost kind of fun, like for her, because it was like she doesn't get to show the magic stuff too often to that degree. So it was also like there's a conflicting thought of like, why did you two just randomly take eggs from a creature that could be bigger than you out in the wild? But also like, this is exactly what they would do. You know them enough to know that this is what they would want to do. So just enjoy what you've done. And then also 2 other thoughts of one, oh dear, I am having a feeling. This is not good for me. This is quite frightening for me. Also, oh no, fire. I let that get out of hand.
It's okay, it's raining.
In her head, that doesn't matter though. In her head, she's just like,
Yeah.
I let that get out of control. I will need to repent and or seek penance for this at some point.
Mm. How's
Not
Rowan?
not
Oh.
yeah. No, I was just gonna say not Catholic at all. I swear.
No, there's no. How's Rowan feeling?
Rowan, as always, is simultaneously all of the thoughts at once and head empty, as all good ADHD folks have. I think Rowan is, through the conversation with Leah, has also addressed the fact that one of the things that Rowan is afraid of is being alone. And has some abandonment issues, but the conversation has helped Rowan feel closer to Leah. So it's kind of like, you address the fear and you find something that comforts you in that moment anyway. So also, that means also having a feeling, but Rowan doesn't mind having those feelings. And I think, what just happened, most people are like, oh no, we didn't get the eggs, or oh no, we lost everything. Rowan is just like, that was great fun. They're all about having fun and making stories, and that felt like a cool story.
Even say through that whole time,
Mm.
and now that y'all are like camping in a tree fort / duck blind / cave thing,
Yeah,
that's all a little whimsical, don't you agree?
it's very whimsical.
It's a little whimsical.
Rowan
I
feels at
mean,
home.
a tiny little person running with 2 giant eggs is a little whimsical too.
Also, riding a wolf
On the
is
back of
also
a werewolf.
Yeah. The homesick feelings are easing because this is weird as fuck, and there was a kaiju, so it's like, you know what, this makes sense. This feels like the frontier.
Right.
Just saying something. Also is starting to form a Rolodex of possible deities that Rowan may or may not be looking for. So that's good.
Right. And last but not least, how is Brazen? Brazen, what's your inner monologue look like right now?
Oh, dang. I'm wet and sad. Guilty. Shouldn't have got the eggs. Oh, it's raining real bad. And that's basically Brazen's monologue. Their thought process and all this. Oh, dang. Oh, gee. But yeah, I think they're pretty guilty over this whole egg debacle and is kind of almost even more so about their hesitation when it came to like actually giving off the eggs or fighting. They're just like, oh man, we should have just fought, you know? Just should have just charged straight ahead at least.
Sword fingers.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Brazen's just tail tucked between their legs, like, oh, dang it. They could have been good eggs.
Probably, like I said, it probably would have been Balut, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know what dinosaur Balut or what Balut is.
No.
The live chicken egg.
Yeah, it's essentially an egg that still has
Oh, the fetus, yes, the duck.
the fetus. Yeah.
Yeah, they're usually with duck eggs, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know that one. That actually, though, I've seen pictures and they creep me out.
My husband apparently had one. He's like, it was not okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look
It's
okay.
a delicacy for a lot of people. So it's like, why not? All right. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and I think so, like Angela, we should probably do that drawing about now before we sign off, eh?
I will will do. I
live in Canada right now. I just picked it up.
I wasn't even gonna judge. I just heard it and I felt my echolalia reflex, which has been having to be tamped down because my partner and I have a vocal habit of saying the word eggs because of a video we've both watched of a seal talking.
Oh.
That every time the word eggs has been used, I've had to refrain from echoing it back in a scream because that's what my partner and I do. So I will do that drawing right now, folks.
And while the drawing is happening, just got a couple of announcements to happen. First off, I know later tonight we have another show called Misspent Youth. Is about a rebellion against the man. Spend your evening with the cast led by Abby at Clarion Call. Also on Mondays, be sure to come by for Rangers of the North, which is a Lord of the Rings series, focused on teaching Free League Publishing's One Ring 5th edition system. There is a zine sale, so you can get 3 zines for $5. And if you're an artist and you're looking for work, we're hiring artists at Girls Run These World for the zines. So there are some commands in chat that I will do and for all of that. And yeah, what we got, Angela? What's the drawing look like?
We have as our fantastic winners we are about to announce that it is at Kai Phoenix and at Humalu, the 2 winners for the PDF. So congratulations to you individuals. We'll be here to provide you with this fine PDF if you get in touch with us through Twitter. So get back to us real soon. This is Greg Ferguson signing off.
I love it. I'm a school teacher and we have a TTRPG club at the school, so I'm going to give them the copy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Cool. And with that, let's go ahead and everybody, where can we find you on the internet, what you're doing, all that good stuff, and we will go we'll go in the opposite way that we did our intro. So we'll do Fairy first.
Okie dokie. Hi, I'm Fairy
Hmm.
Serena. I use any and all pronouns. You can find me pretty much anywhere on the internet by Fairy Serena, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch. I'm gonna be on in like an hour playing Dead by Daylight with a friend of mine. If you want to come hang out, that's cool. And yeah, I'll be back here on Friday again with these nerds, and we'll continue on.
All right, Rin.
Hello, I'm Ren. I am an agender variety streamer, tabletop role-playing game player, podcaster, and audio engineer. You can find me anywhere on the internet at Thorny Dryad. That's like a prickly bush. I am here on Fridays, obviously. I'm also the voice of a character in the first ever longest running Genesis AP podcast called Roads Uncharted. Give that a listen if you like the sound of found family and misfits finding their place in the world. That's kind of the vibe we got going. And that's hosted on any place where your favorite podcasts can be found. And oh yeah, I've got a whole bunch of stuff going on. There's a Star Trek AP on my Twitch channel that is taking place this Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So I'd love to see folks there. And that's about all I'll say right now. So thanks so much for having me and giving me the time.
Angela.
Hello there, fantastic people. My name is Angela Lemos-Mogrovejo. I use she, her pronouns, and I've been playing Ileana Leah Camacho. You can find me in a lot of places over at Phoenix24Fem on Twitter. And also you can see me on Sundays over on Neon Lights Roleplay, where this week we're going to be picking back up with our Pillars of Ink print weaver campaign that we've been having over there. It's been a lot of sad feels. Found my wife after 50 years of not remembering her. That was a really great moment, and I nearly cried so much throughout every part of that episode. And now we just found out the true name of someone else who's forgotten a whole bunch of shit. We have 2 amnesiacs in this group. It's great. This doesn't always happen. It's a fantastic series, really well GM'd, and oh boy, we're getting closer and closer to the end, and I'm so excited for it. But that is me.
Amadou.
It's me. Hi, Emma or Hamalu on the internet. She, they pronouns. You can find me here on Fridays for the next few sessions where we're playing Ballad of Conjurers. You can find me on Val's channel, Valdrianth, here on Twitch tomorrow for our finale for our Dragon Age game. This is the end of our 4th season. It would be wonderful to have you guys in just supporting us. We have a special video from the guy who voices Solus. So if you're a fan of the Dragon Age games, please do come by. That would be wonderful. And that's me.
Last but not least, yes.
Hello, my name is Gaskinator, and you can find me here on Fridays. And other than that, in the real world, I'm a busy bee. But once I'm not a busy bee anymore, girl, I'm going to be in meetings for things that will be coming up. I'll be pre-recording things that will be coming up. So I'm like, stay tuned, I guess, for my stuff. And yeah, that's it. Hey.
And yeah, egg. And then there's me. Hi, I am Valdrianth, or Rosary to everyone on the internet. I produce TTRPGs for me and my friends. I only have one show left on my channel until like October, November, which is tomorrow, which Emma does run the Dragon Age thing. I say that, but however, starting tomorrow, if you're in chat tomorrow, you'll definitely, if you're not already in my Discord, I will have my Discord link up there, and I will be looking for storytellers, GMs, DMs, however they wish to call yourselves, because I'm going to do my Extra Life weekend a week early. I'm going to do it the first week of September. So if you're interested in running a game for charity to help raise money for our local Children's Miracle Network hospitals, I'm going to be looking for GMs, and then as soon as we get that knocked out, players. Should have the form out by tomorrow evening. If not, I would have it out by Sunday. And speaking of Sunday, you can find me over on Sword and Key, where we will be playing Brindlewood Bay. Hopefully we'll be doing that. And with that in mind, I think we're good to go. It looks like we will be rating Chaotic Neutral Goblin. So
Which-
that is a great name.
Fantastic name. That's amazing name.
Yeah, fantastic name. So hopefully our producer is hanging out because I think we're done.
Yeah, I will rate us right now. Continue to do the awkward waves, everybody, while I send us over. Y'all are amazing. Take care, everyone. Jesus Christ, you are all dorks. Amazing. This is great. Doop-a-doop-boo-ba-doo-doop-boo.
Awesome. Cool. And are we clear on the recording or not? Do you know? I don't know. Because I know we were sent over, but I don't know if like the stream stopped.
Clear.
believe we
We
are
got
done.
the clear.
All right, cool. We're in the clear.